Hey, welcome back to another Quality Time. James here, Quality Lead at Dark Threat Fabrication. You can find us on the web at darkthreatfabrication.com. So first off, this week we would really like to apologize. It's been a while since we put one of these videos out, but over the last couple of weeks we've had a major production come in. It was all hands on deck, over 7,000 parts, and it kind of took the main stage. So thanks for joining us again. So if you remember, last time we were talking about quality after World War II. If you remember, up to World War II, the three big players in the quality in the world were the United Kingdom, the United States, and Germany. And as we said, World War II changed all of that. Well, coming out of World War II, we had some new players on the quality scene, and one became a very large player. The United States made a quick shift, one of those quick pivots from the military to industrial and commercial goods. Germany, because of constraints that had been placed upon them to control them, to make sure that they never reached superpower status again, was a whole different thing that we just don't have enough time to talk about. The United Kingdom was kind of the same way as the United States, recovering from the war. But one country had been decimated by World War II, and that was Japan. Both economically and militarily, it had been decimated in World War II, and it was time for them to begin recovering their economy. And they knew that the only way they could do that was through good quality product. So after World War II, Japan realized that they needed to convert from a military goods or internal view to an external view that focused on customer quality. This is when Japan began, and really did it for everybody, began down the road of what we call today total quality. Total quality, in the Japanese mind, they knew that it was going to have to involve every level, every facet of an organization, every process in the organization. This fit very well with what Deming had said, is that quality was everyone's responsibility. So Japan realized right off the bat that they needed to empower their entire workforce, from office to production floor, for that aim, that goal, that purpose of quality to the total degree. At the very beginning, on the offset, total quality was a great thing because this led to higher quality while reducing cost. And that's one of the goals of quality from beginning to end. But you see, Japan knew that they were up against something, because even prior to World War II, Japanese goods worldwide were known to be very shoddy and very inferior. So they knew they needed to do something to increase the quality of their product, so people would be more willing to even consider Japanese goods. They also knew that they needed to do this because prior to World War II, international markets were very leery about trading in Japanese goods, because of the aforementioned quality products and quality issues that Japan had had. Japan knew, and I think this was a very important point, Japan knew that they had to think about quality, big Q quality, in new ways. And I think this is a lesson for us to just stop and think about for just a minute. If we are really going to make it into big Q quality, we're going to have to not be afraid to think about quality in new ways. Now, if you're a history buff and you start looking at the history of quality, especially in Japan at this time, you see two names come to the forefront. And it was very interesting because these two names are American names. They had been somewhat disillusioned with quality in the United States, and because of some of the political things that were going on, to help Japan out of the rubble of war, these men were willing to go to Japan and teach Japanese scientists and engineers what they knew about quality. And those two people are Deming and Geron. So when these two Americans, Deming and Geron, went to Japan, they had a track record already in America, but as I said, they'd become very disillusioned with quality and the push for quality in America. So when they went to Japan, they went there to help and to instill new ideas into total quality mindset that Japan was looking for. Deming went and he wanted to instill into them the ideas of statistical process control, SPC, that we've talked about a little bit in the past. It was Duran who went and he wanted to focus upon the business and the management side of quality. As we don't have the time to discuss all of the advances and all the innovations and all the achievements that both Deming and Duran made in Japan, I think it would be interesting for you to spend some time and look at those, at what they did there. But I think it's very interesting as you start looking that it was Duran who predicted that by the mid-1970s, Japanese goods, if they tapped into total quality, by the 1970s, Japanese quality would overtake USA quality. So that shows just how impressive Duran was in what he thought about infant Japanese total quality. It was on the foundations of Deming and Duran that were laid in Japan that many other quality experts would come along and they would lay upon that foundation. Guys like Shingeo, Ishikawa, Taguchi, and Ono. We know those names. We don't have time to discuss them right now, but as we continue on through quality time, obviously we're going to talk about some of the important advances, innovations that those and more made to Japanese total quality. And I think it's very interesting that as we look at the history of the infancy of Japanese total quality, that we could see that their progress, their acceleration into total quality for Japanese goods gained traction very, very quickly, and they bought into the system full speed 100%. One of those things that can really show that to us is that in 1946, the Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers was officially formed, the first quality organization in the world. And I think something that really shows to us the commitment to total quality in the Japanese mindset at this time was that after the Japanese Union of Scientists and Engineers officially formed their organization, they come up with an annual quality award that was going to be given to quality experts and those who'd made contributions and advancements in the quality field. And they named that prize the Deming Prize. So hey, thanks for joining us again. Sorry for the long pause in production. But again, thanks for joining us. Thank you for spending your time watching these with us. Link up with us on social media, however you choose, and we'll see you again next time.